Hello, everyone, and welcome. We will be getting started shortly. Welcome, everyone. We're going to wait just a few more minutes for some other guests to join us, and we'll get started shortly. Hello, everyone. We're just going to wait one more minute or so, and then we will start our program. Good morning, and welcome to our ATHENA Awards celebration. I'm Cecilia Harry, and I'm Chief Economic Development Officer here at the Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC, and we're excited to have everyone with us to celebrate 13 incredible women in our community today. We, along with our nominees, have waited for more than a year to celebrate, and it's about time. They were nominated in early 2020 and judged by a panel of past ATHENA recipients. And we were set to host the award celebration last April, and then we all know this little bug hit. We made the decision to postpone the celebration until this year, and here we are. And while it's not safe to return to large crowds, we know we're getting closer to resuming in-person festivities, and it does feel like light is at the end of the tunnel. We're all a year into this, and I think it's safe to say we've all honed our virtual event skills, right? We encourage you to share congratulatory messages with the nominees throughout the program and share them on virtually. I see that's not an issue with the way my chat feed is popping up. But we're going to save that chat feed and share it with our nominees afterwards so that they can all read your notes. So be generous with the praise and encouragement. And in addition, please also find a link to today's program in the chat to learn more about the nominees and their work. Today's event is made possible by our generous sponsors, and we'll be taking a moment to meet all three of our sponsors throughout the program, starting with our presenting sponsor, U.S. Bank.
Hello, I'm Liesl Schmidt, U.S. Bank Regional Executive for Community Bank West, which includes Colorado Springs. We are proud to be the sponsor of the ATHENA Luncheon this year. At U.S. Bank, our mission is to power human potential, which means that we strive to help our clients live their best financial life. We want to assist businesses on making their dreams come true and helping our communities thrive. At U.S. Bank, I have the privilege of working with many strong women colleagues who are absolutely fabulous leaders. I was lucky and I had a mentor who plucked me out of a word processing pool and challenged me to dream bigger. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. I hope that all of you have a mentor like that or get to mentor someone to reach their highest potential. Thank you and enjoy your lunch.
Liesl, Jim, and the U.S. Bank team, we're so grateful for your support of this event and for your commitment to women. Liesl shared an example of how the support of another woman helped change the course of her career. And those are the kinds of stories that we're encouraging and celebrating today. The ATHENA Award recognizes an outstanding community and business leader who encourages women to achieve their full leadership potential. The award is rooted in the 8 ATHENA leadership pillars: advocate fiercely, act courageously, foster collaboration, live authentically, learn constantly, give back, build relationships, and celebrate. All of today's nominees demonstrate these 8 pillars in their work. And this year's nominees include Deborah Baum, Nikki Sisak, Vicki Diamond, Jackie Gonzalez, Sarah Johnson, Wen Lee, Katrina Lusk, Brittany McDonald, Heather McBroom, Victoria Selfridge, Kristen Faith Sharpe, Michelle Talarico, and Lola Wallach. Let's meet a few of them.
So what I do now with mentoring young people, especially young women, is the best job I've ever had in my life. When you bring young leaders together that are looking to be leaders someday and teach them how to do it before they take on a position, they just eat it up. And the change that we see, the group that works with me on it, is just outstanding. They'll present their work with an apology, and we teach them not to do that. Just present your work and not to say you're sorry right away or worry that you're in trouble. Just be confident and bold and stand up straight and believe that you're enough. But I can tell you, when you make a difference in a young person's life and leadership and see a young woman especially grow to be something different than what she thought she could ever be, it's really profound. It's what I love to do and what I hope I can do for the rest of my life.
I think in order to thrive as an entrepreneur today, you have to be in a constant state of learning, of growing, of pushing your limits. You know, education is power, and that's something that no one can take from you. And I think that the greatest, sweetest things that you can earn in this life are earned through that blood, sweat, and tears equity that you put in. It makes the reward so much sweeter on the other end. I firmly believe that I don't ever want to be the smartest person in a room. I always want to be in a room filled with people who are further down the road than me, who've been more, who've done more, who've seen more. And just being there with them pushes me to be better. It helps me to grow. It helps me to learn. And in general, not only makes me a better business owner, I believe it makes you a better person in general when you're in those situations.
Over the past 45 years, I've had the distinct pleasure of being in a love affair with the city of Colorado Springs. With anything you love or care about comes responsibility. And I'm not talking just about the for-profit sector of the community, although we want it to thrive. We want it to be a main attraction for corporations and businesses throughout the United States and abroad. But also the nonprofit sector is equally important. The programs, the services, arts and education, health and human services are all key gifts to keep our population alive, healthy, and thriving. And that is of main importance to us.
In life and in business, I think that relationship building is important. I think we all like helping people, and I think that Colorado Springs is just an amazing community. And I think it's really fun when somebody asks me, hey, do you know somebody that can help me remodel my house? Or do you know somebody who can help me with my bookkeeping, or even just a restaurant suggestion? And so if you have these relationships with people in the community, you feel very comfortable referring people to those people or to those businesses. And likewise, if they are comfortable with me and they trust me, then they're going to refer as well. And that's really all just through relationship building. And I think as long as you're genuine and you're true to yourself and you tell people the truth, I think that really is what it's about.
The nominees' videos were made possible by KOAA, one of our longtime partners in recognizing our ATHENA nominees each year.
I think our community expect truthfulness. They expect transparency.
Transparency, truth, and frankly, accountability.
Conveying information that really does impact people's quality of life or how they affect their loved ones and their health really has become more at the forefront and the focus of our storytelling.
Being able to come into a morning meeting and say, hey, these are the issues facing women. These are the issues facing the Black community.
Now more than ever is when people need information.
We process a huge amount of information.
We're making history right now.
Whether we like it or not, the pandemic is still the #1 priority story every day.
And since we are watching out for our viewers and our communities, they know they can rely on us to bring them all that they need to know.
Women are the rocks of our community. They really do it all. They are mothers, wives, homemakers, businesswomen, military and frontline heroes. They are the true leaders in Colorado Springs, holding us together and building us up. Over the past year, through our Rebound Colorado series, I've met so many women who own and operate their own businesses. And they're working to support other female entrepreneurs who may be just getting started or need some advice along the way. The women here are all about lifting each other up, knowing that it helps everyone in the long run. They're mental health care workers working around the clock to try and help us all cope with the changes that we've had to deal with this past year. They're fighting on the front lines, working to keep all of us safe, either working in hospitals or at test sites, vaccine clinics now, so that next year we can do this wonderful event in person together. They're working to fight for social justice and equality for all, and working to make laws to keep our communities safe and strong. So many of you are making a huge impact in making our families, communities, and city a better and stronger place to live, and we thank you for that. Congratulations to this year's ATHENA Award winner. We are all better for having you here.
Sit down and think about who all is involved in the area that you're involved in. And then secondly, it's really just communicating with those groups, finding out who's your key contact, and then learning from their side, how do they interact with this certain law change or code change or department, And then with the census, it's how do you communicate with your group? How can we work together to get that communication out? And then thirdly, it's just recognizing it doesn't matter who gets credit for whatever you're trying to do. What matters is you get it done. It's really exciting to see a project come to fruition. Celebrate the victory, not too long, but celebrate it and then get to work doing what you fought for.
Courage to me is choosing to do what I know I can do and knowing that I can't lose. I feel like my family coming to America was not my courage because that was their path and their journey. But I feel like my responsibility to take the opportunity as an American citizen, becoming an American citizen, is doing what I need to do. I think that I feel like sometimes we don't realize the opportunity that we have in this country. Somebody told me a long time ago, you're not a true entrepreneur unless you lost everything, because you knew how it felt to be at the top. And when you lose everything, it takes you faster to get there the second time. And so when I'm scared or when I'm nervous, I just think about that. Like I've done this, I've taken that risk before, like it's okay. Go to work and do the best that you can. This is your job for right now, you know, new opportunity will come, but do the best that you can for right now, for the job that you have. I just do it knowing that I can do it and that no one can stop me. You know, and if you don't do it, you never know. And I don't want to look back and say, what if?
At Onward to Opportunity, we help service members and their spouses transition out of the military or from career to career. And that's a big part of my job, is to help them understand who they are and what they really want. And part of that is being able to identify where you want to go next. A lot of times, especially for the service member, it's the first time in their life that they have 100% choice in choosing what they want their career to look like. Over my husband's 23-year career, I experienced many personal and professional transitions myself, and being able to share those stories eases that conversation. It builds that initial trust and allows them the space to then go and think about what they really want and grow on their own, you know, with that introspection and reflection on their life, and then, you know, propel them forward.
When I think about acting courageously, courage to me seems inherently active. It's choosing to do something despite what you might feel. So when I encourage my clients to act courageously, it's really about encouraging them to be themselves. Who are they being when they're not afraid? What might be possible if they put down the self-doubt and the uncertainty and the fear? And that's something I really love about coaching, is that coaching is ultimately about expressing belief in another person. When I work with a client, I get to express my total confidence that they have everything they need to do what's right in front of them, that they have that courageous power and that limitless potential. And so I know when I am helping a client tap into that, they will act courageously. It's just going to flow out of them.
Building relationships is probably the number one most important piece of not only my business, but just in general. With the customers, it really helps me connect with them and opened up a level of trust. Building those relationships helps my customers trust me. helps them to be honest and open with me so I can make sure that they're covered correctly. And then often as we're developing those relationships, we find other ways that we're able to assist them and other services that we can provide as well. On the other side of that, building relationships within the community are really important because my customers, they rely on me to connect them with local resources so that I am able to give people a true one-on-one connection with an organization that may be helpful. Being able to send that first name email to connect the two of them is very helpful to my clients, as well as really meeting people and developing relationships in the community to work as referral partners with one another.
Our next sponsor was founded by female visionary Julie Penrose. Julie's legacy of giving back and elevating others lives on today through the El Pomar Foundation.
Since 1937, El Pomar Foundation has proudly carried out the vision of its founders, Spencer and Julie Penrose, in support of the arts and humanities, education, health and human services, and civic and community initiatives. As one of the largest and oldest private foundations in the state, with a mission established by the Penroses to enhance, encourage, and promote the current and future well-being of the people of Colorado, the foundation has carried out the tradition of general-purpose grant-making statewide for more than 80 years. Over the past several decades, El Pomar has increased its impact through a variety of dedicated initiatives, such as the Regional Partnerships Program, the Fellowship Experience, and the Emerging Leadership Development Program, to meet the unique needs of each corner of Colorado and bring enhanced value to the state's nonprofit community. The Foundation's heritage properties, including Penrose House Conference Center, Penrose Heritage Museum, and Will Rogers Shrine of the Sun, also bring great value to our nonprofit community, visitors to the area, and all of our region's residents. El Pomar Foundation is proud to honor the legacy of Spencer and Julie Penrose through meaningful grant-making initiatives, community programs, and nonprofit support on behalf of the people of Colorado.
We're grateful for El Pomar's support of today's event and their ongoing contributions to our community. With us today is Joan Shields, Senior Vice President of Leadership and Director of the Fellowship with El Pomar Foundation. In this capacity, Joan directs the fellowship program and provides strategic leadership to the internship and nonprofit executive leadership program. In addition, she supports internal staff development and leadership initiatives within the foundation. Joan began her career in healthcare as a clinician, educator, and hospital administrator. Prior to joining El Pomar in 2020, she was a senior faculty member at a nonprofit global provider of executive education. She is a certified executive coach and published leadership development author. Joan grew up in New York, graduating with a bachelor's degree in nursing from Duke University. She received her master's in nursing administration from the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Joan has a long history of board service and currently serves on the board of Kid Power of Colorado. I'd like to welcome Joan to introduce today's keynote speaker.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Good morning, everyone. We are so pleased and honored to welcome a very special guest speaker today. Martha Mayhood Mertz is the founder of ATHENA International, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization dedicated to building a global pipeline of women leaders from the classroom to the boardroom, who will create a balance in the voices of leadership worldwide. Since 1982, ATHENA International has been on a mission to develop, support, and honor women and girls through programs based on the 8 principles of the ATHENA leadership model, which is featured in Martha's seminal book entitled Becoming ATHENA. This leadership model was developed with the Center for Creative Leadership through research conceived of and conducted by ATHENA International and funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. The organization's 3 flagship programs include Becoming ATHENA, a leadership development experience, ATHENA PowerLink for advisory boards supporting entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, and the ATHENA Leadership Awards, which we are here to celebrate today. Outstanding leaders are honored with global, national, and regional ATHENA Leadership Awards, and Colorado Springs is proud to partner in this program. As a partner, Colorado Springs is one of hundreds of chambers of commerce, colleges and universities, corporations, women's organizations, and affiliate communities that ATHENA International partners with in 48 states and 11 countries. Almost 8,000 leaders, including a Supreme Court Justice, Olympic medalist, Secretary of State, NASA astronaut, social justice advocate, and CEOs of major corporations have been recognized with the ATHENA Leadership Award in more than 500 regions. We are pleased to have extraordinary women of our Colorado Springs community to be included amongst this inspiring list and to be recognizing our current nominees and recipient here today. Martha Mayhood Mertz is a successful entrepreneur herself, starting her enterprise 39 years ago with just $8,000. As you'll hear in a moment, she had to make her own way at a time when was told that women weren't perceived as leaders. As you know, she didn't agree. The more she observed, the more she became convinced and clear that if a woman's strengths and contributions as leaders were publicly acknowledged, they could no longer be dismissed. That stirred her up to start ATHENA International and lift up women leaders and fiercely advocate for the unique way that women lead. We are so very fortunate to have her join us today and share her own words with us as we honor another ATHENA in our community. Will you please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Martha Mayhood Mertz.
She's muted.
Still muted.
I'm muted.
Now you're not.
Thank you, Joan. Sorry about that little glitch. It's my heartfelt pleasure to be here today, bringing my warmest congratulations to all the nominees and all former ATHENA Award recipients in your community. I'd really like to extend my congratulations to everyone here today. It says a lot about you, who are likely here today because you want to learn more about leadership, specifically your own leadership. Now, we all know that leadership is changing, partly because our world has been upside down. We have lived through a year which we've never experienced before. Nearly everyone has been struggling with the challenges and changes. But if you look closer, you know that your leadership impact is greater than you thought it was. It's everywhere, in your home, in your work, in your community. So while the essence of leadership is changing, we at ATHENA International want to be the catalyst for you to become aware of and deeply involved in meaningful change, in transformational leadership, and the ways that will look like for you. I'd like to share a few stories with you. We often try to define the essence of purpose of our lives. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was fortunate to discover my life's purpose very early. This was when I was 3 years old, the year my brother, I called him King David, was born. We had a wonderful time growing up together. But as I began to learn, the menu for options in his life was far different than the options available for me. That was quite a revelation at the time. And as I grew, I was quietly becoming a fierce advocate for women and their opportunities and their leadership, even though I didn't realize it at the time. Fast forward to the working world. As Joan mentioned, I had started my own business, combining my family name with my married name, Mayhood Mertz Investments. Every time I got a call asking for Mr. Mayhood, which was pretty often, I would tell them that he was out of town, but I was Martha Mertz and I'd be happy to help them. As you can surmise, in my mind, Mr. Mayhood was my dad, who did live out of state, but more to the point, he wasn't part of my company. I thought to be successful in those days, I had to suggest there was a man at the helm. At a certain point, I was the only woman serving on a local board. I was shocked one day to hear a colleague tell me, "Martha, don't nominate more women. They aren't seen as leaders." I'm so grateful he said that. It spurred me into action to start recognizing women as leaders with the first ATHENA Leadership Award. And that, over time, created a chain reaction that led to ATHENA PowerLink advisory boards for female entrepreneurs to begin with. While we were doing the honoring and the mentoring, we discovered something that has become the core of our organization, the ATHENA leadership model, anchored by the 8 principles of enlightened leadership. It took almost 20 years of research, verification, and affirmation with partners like the Center for Creative Leadership to figure out, in developing the ATHENA leadership model, that women didn't want to be leaders. Yes, you heard correctly. Women didn't want to be leaders because they knew that command and control wasn't their style. We found that while most men use a traditional leadership model taught in business schools that looks much like a ladder, a woman's approach more closely resembles a circle. We discovered that women possess an intuitive perspective of leadership that's been handed down from other women throughout the world and over generations. Back then, we as women denied our own leadership because we didn't want to be part of that traditional model. And when we women didn't see ourselves as leaders, then no one else did either. That was my aha moment. I felt like my life's work, my purpose, was to change the very definition and the practice of leadership. In fact, the most phenomenal insight from the ATHENA leadership model body of work was recognizing that women are leading, have always been leading, but in a different way. Now that we know the ways women lead, we want to circle the globe with these concepts. And the good news is that although drawn from women's ways, the ATHENA leadership model is not just for women. It's for everyone. You've already heard the 8 principles, but I'm going to say them again. Live authentically. Know who you are. What do you value? Are you living your values? Learn constantly. Advocate fiercely. Act courageously. Foster collaboration. Build relationships and give back. Sorry. And finally, as we're doing here today, celebrate. I'd like to invite you to select one of these principles and ask yourself, how does this one principle show up in my life right now? People ask me all the time, which one of these principles resonates the most for me? They all do, of course. However, I've seen that at different times in our lives, one or another of these inherent strengths shows up more prominently when it's needed. For example, I'm in give back mode now. When I first started out, as I told you earlier, I was a fierce advocate for lifting up women as leaders. The one principle that is overarching for me, is always with me, is living authentically. How about you? Which one is your Athena principle? Before I conclude, I'd like to ask you to declare one principle for yourself and try it on this month and see what comes up for you. You can declare it privately or publicly. You can hang it on a wall in your office or keep it on your fridge. I can almost guarantee it will spark conversation and inspiration. It's your choice. You will see the list in the chat room again as a keepsake of this celebration today. This model is a framework that will last a lifetime. It's something you can pass on to your children and share now with your staff. It's something you can refer to again and again to keep you grounded as a role model and a leader. It's less how to do leadership and more a recipe for how to be a great person. 38 years ago in 1982, I presented the first ATHENA Leadership Award. This prestigious recognition resonated so well in that one community that it was adopted around the world. As Joan said, thousands of leaders, including global ambassadors, secretaries of state, celebrities, Olympic athletes, media influencers, CEOs, and groundbreaking entrepreneurs have received a bronze sculpture, a numbered work of art similar to the one behind me. By the way, remember King David? The flowers you see are from him. He sends me a beautiful bouquet every single month. I guess I was a good big sister. I want to personally thank all of you at Colorado Springs, with special thanks to Chris and her staff at the Chamber for carrying the torch to lift up women leaders. Today, we are here together celebrating excellence, achievement, and leadership. Think of this as a full and indelible circle of our humanity. I'd like to end this conversation today with one of my favorite quotes by Plato. I hope it resonates with you. The entire 38 years of Athena International's vision has been inspired by these words. It goes like this: what is honored in a country will be cultivated there. To make this wisdom applicable to you right now, what is honored in your community, your professional life, your home, in your very personal moments will be cultivated there. It all really starts with you. In my life today, advocating for the unique way women lead is what I stand for. This is my Athena. What do you stand for? Ask yourself, what is your Athena? Thank you.
Martha, thank you. We're so grateful to have you here today, and just thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's fearless leaders like you that really have paved the way to make things better for women in the workforce today, not just here in Colorado Springs, but really everywhere. And just thank you for inspiring all of us to keep working for change and elevating those around us, and for being with us today. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So we're not done yet. We have some additional examples of what is possible when women lead. Let's meet a few more nominees.
Sometimes as a leader, it's easiest to find the talent in the people that you work with most frequently, day to day. But some of the more satisfying relationships can be with folks that you just see a spark of something. Maybe it reminds you of yourself, or it's a challenge that you faced before, and being able to develop those relationships and hopefully offer some support and encouragement. In my life, mentors have helped me so much with self-awareness, learning more about my weaknesses and my strengths and how to maximize those. And maybe most of all, they've celebrated my success, really cheering me on and encouraging me to try. And when I do succeed, recognize me and make me understand how what I bring to the table contributes to the overall success of the team.
I understand what living with domestic violence feels like, it looks like. When I was in college, I was in an unhealthy relationship and later on discovered that there were other people just like me who were suffering in silence. So I created a national nonprofit for domestic violence called Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence and shared my story. I honestly feel that when one person breaks their silence, it will inspire other people to break theirs. And so creating a nonprofit and creating such systematic change allowed me as a survivor to become a thriver and to help other people live their fearless life.
It's important to me because I think through others' celebrations over the years, I have come to realize how vital and important celebrating those days and special times are in my own life. It occurs to me often that I get to be a part of people's most absolute special days. I love all of the moments, and I often think to myself, but they're not your moments. And I think, but you know what, they are. I think there's something very special about that opportunity that I am very, very grateful for. And I think it's helped me be a better mom, a better business owner, and as I said, a better community advocate.
You know, to celebrate means to appreciate the work and the accomplishments of individuals and businesses by elevating their stories. When we talk about real estate, we always say it appreciates. It means it raises value. And it's the same with people. You know, we celebrate and appreciate their accomplishment. And when we do that, it raises their value, both personally and professionally. You know, recognizing and celebrating success is a very powerful motivator for both individuals, organizations, and our community because it reinforces the meaning behind all the hard work and acknowledges the achievements, which in turn, I believe, boosts our own self-esteem and motivates us towards the next achievements of goals that we have ahead of us.
Martha, we would like to welcome you back to take the virtual microphone and announce who we are honoring with the recognition of the ATHENA Award today.
I'm unmuted now. Thank you. So I have the great pleasure and honor of announcing the ATHENA Award recipient here today. It's really quite an honor. Thank you for putting me into this wonderful position. At ATHENA International, we like to say recipient rather than winner, because if there's a winner, then there are losers. And no one who is nominated for an ATHENA Award could be considered a loser. It is a huge honor to be among this whole group of very, very accomplished and interesting nominees. So in this case, the recipient today has a community-wide reputation for giving back, mentoring others, and building relationships. Her nomination included many examples of her inclusive, compassionate, and courageous leadership approach. Not to mention, her life's work is to celebrate others. I am pleased to announce your 2020-2021 ATHENA Award recipient, Michelle Talarico. Michelle, we'll ask you to share a few remarks in a minute. First, Elizabeth Youngquist, a previous ATHENA recipient herself and your nominator, would like to share a few words about you.
I nominated Michelle Talarico because she excels with all the qualities of the ATHENA Award above and beyond. She is so wise and thoughtful and diligent and kind and eloquent, and above all, so very giving. I joked with her that she needed to learn how to say no, because she never says no. Anytime you ask her to do something, give something, donate something, the answer is always yes. And how she manages everything. She is on so many boards and committees. And again, I told her she was doing way too much, but she is so dedicated. And she is a wonderful board member and committee member, and she gives her all. She has a successful business. She's able to mentor people. She's a great leader. And above all, she also has an amazing family and spends time with this wonderful family. And I know now she is just into being this wonderful grandmother. So I have to say, I cannot think of anyone more worthy of this coveted ATHENA Award. Congratulations, my friend.
Yes, Michelle, congratulations. We want to offer you the Zoom to share a few thoughts with us.
Well, I'm pretty overwhelmed because I 20,000% believe, and any of you that know me know that I mean this, that this award belongs to everybody that was nominated and not me. And it really belongs to my entire team of beautiful human beings that I get to work with every day. It has been the pleasure of my life to hopefully have an opportunity to impart or spark kindness and generosity in other people by some of the acts that I've done. And I am so grateful to Elizabeth. I am so grateful to the Chamber and EDC. I want to say that this is about all of us, all of the nominees. I think that you are all way more deserving. I will accept this on behalf of all of you. And I will commit to being better tomorrow than I am today. And I just want to thank my beautiful, beautiful family. My mother and father, my stepfather are here today. They're beautiful people, and they've given me a beautiful example. And so thank you very, very much.
Michelle, I don't know if you can see everyone, but you just got a wave of applause across all of our screens. Congratulations.
I can't see everybody, but I'm so excited because I have all kinds of amazing people here. My wonderful tribe at Picnic Basket and my family and my friends. And so thank you, everybody. These guys, you got to see them. Because they're the reason why I get up in the morning. I'm excited to do what I do, and hopefully they all get a chance to do what they do, and they're all the true givers in all of this. So thank them.
Hi, Michelle Circle. Well, thank you for supporting Michelle, and again, Michelle, congratulations. Just so wonderful to celebrate with you today. And congratulations to all of our 2020, 2021 ATHENA Award nominees, and again, to Michelle. We're not done celebrating this year's ATHENA class either. We will be recognizing them at our annual gala event on Saturday, November 13th at the Broadmoor. Did you hear that? It's supposed to be in person. Yay! We hope you all can join us in giving another round of well-deserved applause and appreciation in person this fall. And to Michelle and all the women that were nominated today, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us and infusing us with inspiration today. I know I'm leaving with a very positive energy, and I'm certain that all of us on the call have much more to think about and are very inspired by the words that we heard today. So thank you for joining us and celebrating today. This concludes our program. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Michelle.
Cheers, Michelle. Yay, drink it up. Drink it up. Drink it up.
Congratulations, Michelle.
Hey, hey, hey.
Love you all.
Oh, man.
Go, Michelle.
Awesome, Michelle. So proud of you.
Woohoo! Go, Michelle. You are absolutely the best.
Yes, she is.
You are.
No, you are.
No, you are.
You are.
You know you are today.
I love you, Chris.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you, Miss Martha, for all that knowledge. I've never
My
heard you speak before. I was touched. It was great. Thank you for that.
I see you've got a principal or 8 in you, so I hope you pick one.
Yes, absolutely. It's hard to pick one. All of them resonate. It's so strong.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.